Empire Television, Kern County In Depth with 17's Jim Scott.
Welcome. Good to have you with us this weekend. 2 years ago, the Board of State and Community Corrections awarded the Bakersfield Police Department a $517,000 grant to help the city reduce gang violence and build bridges between cops and the citizens they serve and protect. Now, the relationship between law enforcement and residents living in crime-plagued neighborhoods in Bakersfield has historically, from time to time, been a strained relationship. Incidents of excessive force, officer-involved shootings, and aggressive policing, albeit justified at times, have generated a feeling of distrust among some people who live amidst the violence on the mean streets of Bakersfield. But the collaborative efforts nurtured by the state grant have produced some positive results. One is the creation of the 3C program: cops, clergy, and community, the Safe Streets Partnership. Now, once a month, these stakeholder groups meet to take stock of what is happening on the streets, especially a 2 square mile area of central Bakersfield that produces much of the gun violence in our community. The so-called area of concern is bordered by California Avenue on the north, Brundage Lane to the south, Washington Street to the east, and Chester Avenue to the west. The ultimate goal is to reduce gang and gun violence through collaborative partnerships while improving the relationships between law enforcement and our citizenry. And 4 men who have been instrumental in creating this collaborative effort are with me this weekend. Joe Mullins, Captain Joe Mullins. He's the former head of the gang unit and now chief of the investigations unit at the Bakersfield Police Department. Pastor Torrey Tyler with the Cross Christian Church. Wesley Davis, founder of the Wendell Davis Foundation, and Leon Conley is program director, program coordinator for Stay Focused Ministries, and he's in for Stay Focused founder Manny Carrizales, who is out of town. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's a good time for an update here. When you look back at the last 2 years, what would you consider the greatest benefit to come out of this 3C program, which was funded by this state grant? A question for each of you, your own thoughts. So let me start with you, Captain Mullins.
For me, the biggest success, I think, has been the relationships that we've been able to build. Previously, a lot of these relationships had been strained, even to the point where some of the community groups had difficulty working with the police. They had difficulty having a reputation of cooperating with law enforcement or of trying to do anything even positive in the community with law enforcement. But our friends here took a chance on us and joined with us and did some very positive work, and in ways that I think we weren't able to before. So I think that more than anything else, that relationship that's going to continue, and our ability to help out our community-based organizations and find out that we as the police got as much help as we gave, if not more.
Pastor Tyler, we were just talking about the coalition of clergy here and what you have managed to accomplish. Some of you just coming into the fold, if you will, in this. What are your reflections on this in your experience?
It was great from the faith-based side of things, collaborating with 2 other churches, which I represent the body of Christ, which is also the Miss Marissa's church, Compassion Christian, as well as David McGee's church as well. And so getting those churches together and coming and connecting up under a governed board with Bakersfield Safe Street Partners, as well as with Captain Mullins here, was a very interesting thing to see how faith would work with community and the police department. And right. So it worked well, though.
And the faith component, the spiritual component of any intervention program, I would have to say that if you show me a program, an intervention program that doesn't have a faith component, and I'll show you a failed intervention program.
So true. We're touching the same people's lives throughout the course of the year, and unfortunately at the same funerals with individuals and counseling the same individuals as well. So it was a great collaborative effort to everybody come up under one auspice to be able to say, hey, these are the people we're going to help out. Captain Mullins and the rest of the police department definitely did a great job in identifying specific needs that were there, and just had some great stories throughout the past 2 years.
Leon Conley, you've been out there in the trenches. You're a mentor for Stay Focused and Reach for Greatness. Quickly, your reflections on your experience with the 3C program.
Well, I'd have to say it's positive. One of the awesome aspects of what I was able to do is work alongside 10 officers from the gang unit who volunteered to be mentors in a program, who actually went onto the school campuses and were matched one-on-one. Some of them had 2 mentees. And so to see the positive interaction between the officers and these children, and I can think specifically there was an officer who was matched with a young man whose father had been arrested, and the initial meet with the officer was not positive. The young man pulled away, didn't want to really engage with the officer. The officer recognized it immediately and disarmed the young man by just talking to him at a distance, allowing him to see things, and that relationship exists to this day. So it's been a very, very positive experience for us.
Quickly, your thoughts, Wesley Davis.
You know, Jim, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And this collaborative actually have given us an opportunity to be up close and personal with the need. And it was awesome. It was awesome.
Captain Mullins, you mentioned training with the department, within the department, something called principled policing. Can you give us a thumbnail sketch of what that is?
Principled policing is based on the concept of procedural justice, which is quite simply giving people a voice, remaining neutral, being trustworthy, and making the relationship based on respect and dignity. And that's something that we would think would just be a basic, that would be something that we would always remember. And the fact is that to reinforce those basics has been well, it's been a struggle over the years. Police officers are constantly dealing with situations in often a confrontational manner. They often have to work very fast with what they do, and they're doing things that a lot of the public doesn't understand. They're doing things over and over. They're handling this very similar situations 10, 12 times a day. And but members of the public, that's their only time that they may interact with law enforcement. So principled policing class is, and Chief Martin is committed to this for every member of the department, to have that training in procedural justice, but to have it with members of the community. All of these gentlemen have attended the class with us, and it's an experience for the officers and with members of the community to have a conversation about some very difficult topics. For the police and community members to be able to sit in a room and talk about the history of policing, talk about the real relationship between police and the community, one based on respect, not on fear, and cooperation, and how to get that. And there's been a lot of, I think, great feedback, and the levels of understanding on both sides have truly increased. That's the biggest thing that I think comes out of that, and we're still doing that every month, and we're going to continue doing that until every member of the department has a chance to go through that.
Sounds like this needs to be a continuing effort, no doubt. The number one overarching goal here was to reduce gang violence with this grant, and that's easier said than done. But Captain Mullins, you provided some update on the numbers for us. We want to throw that graphic up there, and the top bar is gang-related shootings for the area of concern, as we talked about earlier. The bottom bar is gang-related shootings for the entire city of Bakersfield. So keep in mind the 3C program and the funding from this grant kicked in 2016. And you look at that, and you look at those numbers there, and you see significant drops in the area of concern. What is your big takeaway from those numbers up there, Captain Mullins?
We can make a difference.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to. When we say that we have to accept certain things, when we say that we're going to tolerate, put up with a certain level of violence in our city because that's just the way it is in certain neighborhoods, those numbers right there tell you something different. When people care, and when people are willing to work together, and that means on both sides, that means law enforcement and the community are willing to work together in a relationship based on trust and respect, then you can make this kind of a difference. And when you start treating people like people instead of suspects, and stop assuming that today's witness is tomorrow's suspect, you can build a lot of relationships. You can have a positive effect. There's any number for, the shootings. It's great that we prevented shootings. It's great that the numbers went down. But what's also wonderful is that these lives that have been not just saved from people being shot or killed, it's been the way that they've been saved from incarceration. It's been the way that they've been pulled out of the gang life by the programs that these gentlemen run on every single day, and not just the young men that are involved, but the young ladies. Some amazing work that's been done out there, and stuff that I don't think we would have been aware of if we hadn't had this program.
Now, as a condition, before we go to break, real quickly, as a condition of this grant, which has now expired, you have to come back and analyze the effectiveness of this program. Dr. Zachary Hayes at Cal State University Bakersfield has been tasked with the analyzing of the data and interviewing community stakeholders to see whether or not the needle has been moved with this grant money, right?
Yep.
What are the parameters that he'll be looking at that, you know, will tell you whether or not success has been made here?
Quite simply, it's something that I don't think has been officially or carefully measured in Bakersfield before, and that is trust in the community.
A survey, and then he's going to have to survey.
It is effective policing that in the areas where people need us the most, they trust us the least. And can we have an effect on that? Can we change it? I think we can.
Okay, very good. We got to go to break here. Ran a little bit over, but when we come back, the call went out from the Safe Streets Partnership to members of a local street gang, and the message was, come in and talk to us. The response to that gang call-in when we come back. You're watching Kern County In Depth.
With a commitment to providing the highest standard of compassionate care, this year marks the 50th anniversary of Kern Radiology. Founded by a team of local radiologists, Kern Radiology is Bakersfield's only independently owned full-service diagnostic imaging center. Our highly trained physicians utilize state-of-the-art technology and are dedicated to delivering the most accurate diagnosis possible. Over 3 million exams performed, 50 years of quality patient care, and more to come. Choose Kern Radiology at one of our 4 locations.
Your home is a reflection of you. At Michael Flooring, we understand that. Our free in-home design consultants make it convenient and easy to choose the perfect selections right in your home. Or visit our showroom on District and Ash to see our incredible selection of granite, marble, tile, hardwood, or laminate and carpet. Everything under one roof. All our installation comes with 100% customer satisfaction guaranteed. So call us today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 833-2444. Michael Flooring.
Buying a home can be difficult. You need a real estate team that can handle any situation. The Domlau team at Miramar International is here to provide you with all the resources you need to buy or sell real estate.
I'm Julie Domlau, and I look forward to assisting in all of your real estate needs.
Hi, I'm Jeff Pereira.
And I'm Scott Ryan. Sign up with SunPower by SunSolar today and we'll pay your electric bill. That's right, we'll pay your electric bill up to $750 from the time you sign till the system is turned on.
Only at SunPower by SunSolar. Save today and call 1-800-SOLAR-POWER.
Sunrise, the Kern County morning newscast that gives you access to what's happening in our valley. Maddie and Alex, heartwarming stories about the people of Kern County. Tabitha Mills, and as always, your sunrise forecast. Kevin Charette, weekday mornings, the 17 News Sunrise team. A solid reputation, celebrating our community. Helping you make a difference. Kern County's news leader, 17 News.
Make the community a safer place for our young people to live in.
We're able to interact with people on a different level. It ends up being a positive response where we're not just seen as, on patrol.
Welcome back. A couple weeks ago, a dozen or so members of the West Side Crips criminal street gang showed up at the South Side Seventh-day Adventist Church in central Bakersfield. It was a Tuesday night. Inside that church, waiting to talk to them, were cops, clergy from our local churches, prosecutors, social workers, and city leaders. It was a rare gang call-in. Food was offered, but perhaps more importantly, so was a way out of gang life, because regardless of how attractive gang life might be to a displaced or disadvantaged teenager or young adult, the gang life usually and eventually leads to one of two things: an early death or a lifetime in prison. Gentlemen, I trust, I know that 2 of you were there. Cap Mullins and Wesley Davis were there, but Leon and Pastor Tyler, you've been at previous gang call-ins. Were you surprised by the turnout, considering, well, perhaps you weren't surprised by the turnout considering the conditions that were placed on these gang members as a condition of their parole? They were encouraged to attend, right?
Well, they are encouraged to attend by their probation officer or probation or parole officer. But let's talk some about what we've been saying here. We keep saying gang members, and we keep labeling people as that. These are members of our community. These are young men who have, at some point, they committed a crime in benefit of a criminal street gang. They did that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. But to label them that way for the rest of their lives, that's part of the message we're trying to get across. You don't have to be that. You aren't labeled that way by the law, the police, do not label you that way. The community doesn't have to think of you that way. And that's the message that we're trying to get across. You don't have to be that. You don't have to do this forever. You can turn away from that. And I think that that message gets through.
What did you hope to accomplish beyond that?
That's enough.
Yeah.
We're getting somebody out of the gang life. You have no idea how dangerous it is. The fact of the matter is that African-American population in our city is about 13%. They represent anywhere from 40, depending on the year, 40 to 50% of our shooting victims. Young African-American men, especially those active in criminal street gangs, are at risk every moment of their lives.
Yes, they are. Wesley, what was your reflection, or what are your reflections on that night, and what was accomplished there?
Well, for me, it's all about trust and relationship. I mean, just this thing can live or die by trust and relationship. That's what it's all about, and I think that message was exemplified in that game call-in. You know, the guys were able to see that, hey, you know what? You know, maybe this is not all bad. You know, maybe there are some people that actually care. That my organization and other organizations represented in terms of speaking to the services side of it. The guys were able to see that and recognize that. And again, I think they were very receptive.
The bonds between these individuals, though, and their respective gangs, that's a hard bond to break. Leon, Conley, you know that only too well. It's a generational thing in some cases.
And I was going to mention this, is that, you know, you're going to tell someone to give up something, you've got to replace it with something. And I think one of the awesome aspects of the gang call-in is there were so many resources provided for these young men and ladies so that they could replace or get out of the jobs readiness. They could be certified in other areas if they needed help with their brothers and sisters, whatever it is, tattoo removals, mentoring. There were opportunities for them to take the steps necessary to get out of the situation.
And Pastor Tyler, there's also the element of hope that is contained in a spiritual message of that we're here to help.
That's right.
And that there is hope.
Right.
And in a lot of these individuals' lives, hope is in short supply, as well as perhaps a relationship with a higher power.
So true. And to say that and see that and be able to apply what we do in the pulpit on Sunday and take that out into the community on an everyday basis was very exciting for me personally. And to go back to 2016, where within one summer breath of time, the scope of work, unfortunately, was for me, was I did 3 funerals and 3 eulogies in less than 90 days. 2017, 1 funeral. 2018 is the year. I'm believing that this summer will be no homicides, no murders of any sort. And when you start talking about gang members, when you're burying and committing bodies to the ground, you don't see gangs. You just see lives that are being lost. And from day one, it's been a task that has, like everybody on this panel has said, to reach them where they are and pull them where they need to be. And that's been the place for many of us, and our hearts are going out to those families still that have lost loved ones to the senseless violence.
Cap Mullins, you've been on the leading edge of this anti-gang effort for years now, and you address these young men directly from a personal perspective. What did you tell them?
Well, tired. There shouldn't be any doubt about that. Unfortunately, there is.
You're tired.
The relationship is such that there is a large segment of our community who believes that the police don't care. They believe that we can go to a gang shooting and just think that there's no humans involved, and that's not the case. Our officers, when our officers go to a young man who's been killed, whether that young man is 3 or 23, we understand the sense of loss. We have a job to do. We have to deal with a crime scene. We have to deal with suspects. We have to deal with evidence. We have stuff we have to do, and that sometimes comes across as though we're not affected by it.
Right.
And the reality is, our officers do care. I've seen our officers, in large part because of the relationships they've been able to build, they've always wanted to help. There's always wanted to be things they could do or things they wanted to do. But when they found somebody that they could reach out through and help some of these family members who have been affected by this violence, who have suffered the loss of a child, or just being there for a mentor program on a regular basis and seeing these kids out there on the street in their patrol cars and having a much different response than we've had in years past. That means everything. That means a lot to us.
And you said you're tired of walking up to a crime scene and finding another young man's body laying there.
You find a young man there, people who have they're not just gang members. Some of these young men have had jobs, they've had children. One young man that I'm thinking of was gunned down in front of his 6-year-old son. You know, how can you not be affected by that? How can you not think that there's something we should do about that?
Yeah. That's why you guys are doing what you're doing.
And they're doing fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, you are. Okay, I'm going to stop there and take a quick break. We'll be back after the break. You're watching Kern County In Depth.
I'm Alex Trebek, here to tell you about the Colonial Penn program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget, remember the 3 Ps.
The 3 what?
The 3 Ps?
What are the 3 Ps?
The 3 Ps of life insurance on a fixed budget are price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget.
I'm 54 and I was a smoker, but quit. Alex, what's my price?
You can get coverage for $9.95 a month.
I'm 65, retired, and take medications. What's my price?
Also, $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80 and I'm on a fixed income. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you, too. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular whole life insurance plan, available through the Colonial Penn program. It has an affordable rate starting at $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. You cannot be turned down because of your health. No medical exam, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, so your rate can never go up for any reason. Options start at $9.95 a month. Plus, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So call now for free information. And you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. Use this valuable guide to record your important information and give helpful direction to your loved ones with your final wishes. And it's yours free, just for calling. So call now.
Call 1-800-290-3311 for free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-290-3311. 1-800-290-3311. That's 1-800-290-3311. So call now.
Reaching a child one at a time, it takes time. It takes time to really come in here and change the mindset.
We want to show them that there's other opportunities out there, there's better things, and there's chances for their neighborhood to be better and safer.
Welcome back, gentlemen. Just have a couple of minutes here left in the show. When you consider the whole spectrum of gang intervention and prevention programs in place right now in Bakersfield, which component or program suffers the most for lack of funding? Anybody want to take that question? It's a fair question. I know that you're the nonprofits that are dedicated to gang intervention and prevention operate on shoestring budgets. And maybe Joe, maybe you could start
Absolutely. I don't think that there's anything more important right now than supporting these local community-based organizations. That was the purpose of this grant in the first place, and I hope our community picks up where that grant left off. These community-based organizations are doing fantastic work out there, and yet sometimes from month to month, just keeping the lights on is difficult. We have a lot of good hearts in our community. We have a good, sound financial foundation in our community, and some of it should go to support these groups that are doing such excellent work, and the dividend that it pays off. Shootings, gun violence costs our community. It costs the hospitals. It costs the communities that can attract businesses. It costs when you're trying to get workers. It costs us in workers' comp. It costs us all kinds of money to do these things. So let's put some money into prevention and intervention and save that.
So let me ask you this. Now, in November, Bakersfield voters will have a chance to either say yay or nay to a 1-cent sales tax increase. The number we hear is that this could generate up to $50 million annually for city coffers. Public safety is priority #1, as stated in the ballot language, and within that, gang prevention, gang intervention, reducing gang violence. How would you spend that money? Let's say you got 1% of that. Let's say you got $500,000 annually, but it may be more, maybe less. Where would you spend that money? Anybody, where do you think that money should go?
I'd like to see, more jobs and stuff created.
Economic development.
For these young men, definitely.
Job beats a bullet any time?
Man, I tell you. And just for instance, we've had to shut down program this summer because of one of our AC units went out. So, all of those type of things, a nonprofit should be able to sustain itself, while you're helping the community.
A city grant program would be effective, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
I look at this first line of this past 2 years as an intervention method. I really would like to see some of that money, if it was possible, go to prevention. Prevention would be more so on the order of what being discussed today, Brother Wesley just said, educating them, developing them, job career them, and also give them an opportunity to explore college, junior college here. Trades are offered. Something on the order of, now we're not just stopping you from attempting to murder or at your unfortunate event go to jail. We're actually not trying to pull you away and get you into a career, not just a job, but a career that will last and for you and your family.
All right. Gentlemen, we're out of time. Pastor Torrey Tyler.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. Captain Mullins, always good to see you. Leon Conley, keep up the good work. And Wesley Davis, we appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Thank you, sir.
We really do. Okay. I'm back with a final word right after the break.
Come to Crab in a Bag, your one stop for a unique, authentic Cajun seafood experience. Crack into something new, like our cod and chips, fried oysters, breaded catfish. There's nothing small about our mouth-watering shrimp and chips. Come grab some crab. Bring a friend or bring the whole family to Crab in a Bag. Get more of what you love.
Your year-round backyard oasis is waiting for you at Bakersfield's Hot Tubs Plus. Improve your health, your well-being, and your outlook with a Sundance or Bullfrog Spa from Hot Tubs Plus. A hot tub is so much more than just hot water. It's an escape, your ticket to paradise. Come see our showroom and try before you buy. We'll even provide the towels. Bakersfield's Hot Tubs Plus at 4301 Yeager, just off Chirac Court, with free white glove delivery and setup. Call 661-396-TUBS today.
Attention homeowners and contractors. Stop driving to Los Angeles for quartz, granite, or cabinetry. Shop Factory Direct right here in Bakersfield and save thousands at J Home Improvement. Like these beautiful quartz prefab countertops starting at $175, or these 10-foot quartz big slabs starting at $10.76 per square foot. Need kitchen cabinets? Buy now and get free installation. Buy Factory Direct today and save thousands. Don't overpay on your home improvement project. Visit J Home Improvement today, 3209 Landco Drive.
Leadership. It's what you want, what you deserve. Journalistic leadership. Local news gathering. Award-winning reports. 17 News delivers morning, noon, and night. Trusted leadership. 17 News.
Well, Kern County In Depth is a half-hour talk show. We try to find solutions to some of the problems that plague our communities. If you would like more information on how you can get involved with the Safe Streets Partnership or the 3C program, they meet the first Tuesday of every month at the Larry E. Ryder Education Center, 2000 K Street in downtown Bakersfield. Their next meeting is July 10th due to the 4th of July holiday. And you can call them at 326-3167 or check out the Safe Streets Partnership on Facebook. That's all for now. For all of us here at 17 News, I'm Jim Scott. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Kern County In Depth with Jim Scott is a production of Kern Golden Empire Television. For more information on how you can contribute, simply visit kget.com.